Hey, welcome to another edition of Beyond Sight. No, I've been having some good thoughts and good feelings about some of this content that I've been able to bring about the last several weeks. And I think this one here is going to be a gem. So, have you ever had a conversation with someone that seems that they just want to win the conversation? That they're not really trying to get some clarity on or some togetherness or some collaboration or some cooperation. They just want to be in a position where they just want to win. And this is what most people do, right? They do this here. They get into this conversation. And the truth of the matter is they don't want you to win. Right? This is the clear understanding of why the storm is real and why you are in the storm, because the person that you are having a conversation with don't want you to win. Their whole objective is to come into the situation for you not to win. That's the real of the matter. And so what that looks like is you are then having this conversation and they are then sit there, either they take the role as a victim and say, well, you made them this way, or they deflect and start saying that it's your fault because this is taking place when you are bringing an issue to them or you bringing your concern. And so then they blame you or they take on a victim role, or they just going to be outright defiant. That is the game plan, because the idea, and a lot of times we call this gaslighting. In a lot of instances, people got this word gaslighting, just they misuse it a lot of times, but they got this word gaslighting down pat. Well, in a sense, this is what's taking place, right? It really is taking place, that you are being gaslit into thinking something is wrong with you because you brought up an issue. And what you will come to find out that this is a pattern with people who have high conflict personalities. That they don't look to have a meeting of the minds, if you will, with you on how to get beyond a particular place or how to make life peaceful for everybody involved. No, this is gonna be at home. This is in relationships. This is at work. These people have a corrupt way of thinking. And the corruption is that they don't want you to win. They want it to be about them and how they're going to succeed and conquer you. Because that's what it feels like. Right? It feels like someone's trying to conquer you. Right? Somebody's trying to keep you suppressed or keep you down or keep you off kiltered, if you will, or off centered, if you will. That is the whole game plan. Right? And then you feel trapped, because this is what many people do. They start trying to convince the person that they are having this conversation with of their point of view. Wrong tactic all the way around. Why is it wrong? Because they don't want to hear your point of view. Because as long as your point of view don't side with them, then you're going to be there all day. And you get into this secular conversation. Yet this conversation start taking places. Then you hear, the next thing you know, you hear, the next thing you know, you're there, and the next thing you know, you're there. And this conversation will be all over the place. And it's like, and I tell many people in my sessions, when some of my clients, when they get caught up like this, it's like finding yourself in a rabbit hole. And here's the craziness about being in a rabbit hole. The lead rabbit is the one that gets to throw all the dirt. And who that lead rabbit is throwing the dirt on is on the person, on the rabbit that's behind. Right. So while they in this rabbit hole, they digging new holes and they finding new places to go, and they going in other directions. They keep throwing all that dirt back in front and back at you. I want you to look at that. I want you to look how a lot of times you guys are falling into the second rabbit. You're not the lead rabbit, and you're being led by the lead rabbit. And it is mind blowing. It make you think you're going crazy because you know what you're saying is true. You know that this is the issue. You know that this is a person who you have legitimate concerns with or about or whatever you want to call it. They don't want you to broach those concerns with them, though. They're looking for you to really just shut up and take what it is that they're giving you and don't say anything and let them do what it is that they want to do. And we can keep it moving from there, because it really, I normally tell people it's about clarity, but sometimes in awareness, the clarity and awareness piece is you really being in a position of knowing who you are dealing with. I want you to think about that for a minute. Do you really know the person that you're dealing with? Are you trying to change them because you feel like they got all this good in them? Or is it just you really want to be heard by them? And the reality of it is, they don't want to hear you. They don't care one iota of what you think. But you care. And what you do is you get into the position of defending, excusing, explaining, and then reacting, right? Or you get caught up in the justification, or this what's happening to you is you get caught up in the justification, the accusatory situations, someone defending or explaining, right? And the defense really is them taking you in other directions other than what it is that you, and then their explanation would be that you don't know what you're talking about. Or one of the words that I've heard someone say before, let's put a pin in that. I know I did this, but let's put a pin in that. How about when you did this right here? Totally off the subject that you broach with them, right? And yeah, it's manipulation. And you go for it every time. I want you to think about how many times you went for it. And you're looking at your partner or you're looking at your coworker, and you're like, I know this cat's an idiot, right? I'm just saying, I know that this, but every time we turn around, he's making you look like the idiot, or she's making you look like the idiot. Why? Because you get into the back and forth in the secular conversations, and it doesn't stop. And it's hard being in a relationship like that. It's even worse when you go into a work environment and it's like that. Once upon a time, I had, quick story here, I had someone that I was under, a manager that I was under. And this guy, really, man, this guy is like cold racist. I ain't gonna lie to you, cold racist, right? And he had all type of phobias, which I don't necessarily care about your phobias. He was, black phobia, gay phobia, all type. He had Muslim phobia. He had all type of phobias going on, right? People phobia. I mean, I done seen him come to work after getting beat up by his ex-wife's boyfriend because he just run his mouth, right? Just does things. He come to work, serious black guy, right? It's crazy, all right? But he caused me so much havoc that I finally I couldn't put up with it anymore. I didn't quit the job. I transferred the job. And what I used to do for him was because, uh, you know, I normally want off on Friday, but in lieu of me being off on Friday, I work every weekend. I work Saturday and Sundays. I just went on Friday one day in the week because I was actually in school at the time as well. I was in undergrad, as a matter of fact. And so those are only 2 days a month. I take a day like maybe a Tuesday and Friday, something like that. I take off one day in the week and then that Friday. And then I work Saturday and Sunday. I open for him, everything. And he used to have all type of problems trying to make me get on a evening shift and things of nature there, which just was really just he was really messing with me for no reason at all at that point, right? So and you pencil with me on the schedule. You pencil with me with the schedule, right? So what happened for me is eventually got fed up, and the manager that was over me had transferred to another facility. And I was talking to him. He said, "Well, you know what? I actually need a backup over here because I was his backup as well. I need a backup over here. Um, how about you put in for a transfer and I get you over here, right?" So I came over, facility, talked with the head manager at the facility, walked the facility, all this type of stuff here to see what I was coming into. I kind of liked the place I actually was going to, and so I dipped on him, and this guy talked so much noise about me leaving until the day, it's like the day before I'm getting ready to go. Then he want to try to come to me and talk to me about staying. Oh, I ain't gonna tell you a lot, but the Negro in me, let me be honest with you, the Negro in me, the ninja in me, had to have fun with him. I had to drag him. He didn't really care. He didn't really care. He cared, but he didn't care, right? Because at the end of the day, what he wanted to do was keep me covering for him because if I didn't come in, that means he had to come in. Eventually, I had to become aware of who this guy was. I couldn't talk to him. I tried talking with him, tried reasoning with him. I tried working a little harder, things of that nature there. I tried to do a lot of different things to just cover and let him see my value, if you will. And he didn't care about my value. It was about his plan only. And I ran into the guy again eventually because eventually I became a manager at the spot that I was, and somehow or another he got a position that kind of started checking all different facilities, and he used to come in and check at my facility, right? And so I was kind of nice. My spot was nice, but he was over me. So I mean, I really ran into him again. But at this point, I had learned how to deal with him. And what I did was I paid him no mind. I let him come. He did what he did. He said what he said. He went up there and tried to bite my back out and all this old type of stuff here. But at that point, I established relationships with my management. Eventually, my management told him, he didn't need to come back to the facility anymore. That he's going to make sure he didn't come back to his facility anymore because he knew that it was personal. But I let somebody else see that. I didn't go run and talk about it was personal and all this old type of stuff here. They came to me and asked me, "Hey, didn't he used to be over you or such and such?" I said, "Yeah, when we was at another spot." He said, "Yeah, because he got a personal vendetta with you." And he's not going to come in my facility with that, right? It allowed me to be able to not have to defend myself because I was aware of them. I just kept my head moving. I kept my people going. I heard what suggestions I might have been put in play, did my job, made sure my job was straight, and I took it there, right? So what I'm saying to us is this here. You have to be aware of who you are dealing with. I cannot stress enough. You have to be aware of who you're dealing with. And the way you get clarity is you know who you're dealing with, you say what you have to say, you stay on your point, and you keep it moving. You don't go into the back and forth with someone. This is the main issue that I find when I'm doing sessions with my people and my clients, that there is this extreme back and forth that takes place.